continue what I was saying, I was pointing out that the bill refers to the obligation of the seafarer, the obligation of the ship owner or manning agency to take care, to be responsible for the expenses of medical care of the seafarer when in self-isolation or quarantine, until the seafarer has been repatriated to the point of hire. And then the next paragraph goes on to say, upon arrival at the point of hire, which the sponsor said is always the Philippines, up to the seafarer's return to the place of domicile, the Philippine government will take care of his quarantine. I asked if His Honor means domicile or residence, and the sponsor said that he is just following what is contained in the Maritime Labor Convention. But this is a Philippine law, so we have to be sure what we are referring to, because under Philippine law, there is a difference between residence and domicile. And the obligation of the Philippine government will be affected if the person does not return to the domicile.
Meron siyang right to choose kung ano yung final repatriation destination niya. Either the point of hire or point of domicile. Point of domicile, permanent resident.
Okay, doon kasi sa contract, Mr. President, Your Honor, nakaspecify point of hire and point of domicile where he or she can choose kung saan siya babagsak at never na kung saan siya babalik in case of repatriation, because we're talking here of repatriation. So therefore, like you mentioned and I've mentioned earlier, sa MLC, Maritime Labor Code 2006, never kasi na-mention doon yung word residence. They always use the term domicile in referring to the seafarer after he or she's been repatriated. So may point din po kayo dahil Philippine law ang pinairal natin dito. That's why much better kung gagamit tayo ng word residence. I see your point. On the other hand, dito po kasi sa MLC, maging dun sa contract nitong seafarer sa SEC, sa Standard Employment Contract, doon po sinusulat niya kung saan ang kanyang permanent domicile, and never na-mention doon ang word residence. Kasi kung maglalagay tayo ng another word doon na wala po sa Standard Employment Contract at wala po sa MLC, medyo magulo po yun, Mr. President, Your Honor.
Well, Your Honor, magulo din po yun if under Philippine law, you do not provide for clarity if you mean domicile or residence. What do you mean, Your Honor?
Okay.
What is your intention? At to what point will the Philippine government be responsible, domicile or resident? What is the intention of His Honor in the draft?
Oh,
The residence or the address given by the sponsor and the seafarer.
okay. The domicile is same as the address given by the seafarer when he signed his contract doon po sa SEC, Standard Employment Contract. Doon po nakalagay yung kanyang exact address under the word domicile. Ganon din po doon sa MLC, yung word domicile ang means na yun po yung kanyang place of residence. And again, I would like to put it on record na I see your point, Your Honor, na this is Philippine law we're talking about. Dapat under Philippine law, gamitin natin yung word residence. However, since wala naman po yung word residence maging sa Standard Employment Contract na pinirmahan ng ating seafarer and maging sa MLC, baka magkaroon ng konting confusion doon because two different, doon sa dalawa, domicile always been mentioned and never na-mention yung word na residence. Mr. President, Your Honor.
Do I remember correctly that in the first part of His Honor's answer, he said in the standard employment contract, he would indicate as his domicile his what? What did His Honor say? Place of residence, place of permanent residence? What was the statement made?
Asahin mo?
Our declaration of repatriation.
Hindi sa plan, sabi niya kasi sa SEC. Nakalagay doon domicile. Meron tayong token nyo. Saan doon sa SEC to? Okay. Your Honor, sa kanyang standard employment contract, again, doon sa part ng repatriation, it refers to the process of returning seafarer to the point of hire or the seafarer's place of domicile. Yun po yung nakaspecify doon sa SEC. Your Honor.
But earlier, Your Honor, you said that the SEC states the domicile as something. You said that. What was that? I'm just asking for His Honor to repeat that because I will try to help His Honor clarify the intention. If he just repeats, what did you say? Permanent residence or current residence?
The place of domicile is the address written by the seafarer as his place of residence.
Okay.
Listed in the standard employment contract, he or she states there his place of domicile as his home address. Your Honor.
Okay, Your Honor, what I am trying to explain is under Philippine law, there is a difference between domicile and residence. So in your standard employment contract, if a seafarer will indicate a particular address and it says domicile, then that is different from residence. If it says residence, then that is different from domicile. And I would insist that Philippine law would govern. So the obligation of government is affected if he will not be able to return the seafarer to the place of domicile because that is different, that could be very different from the place of residence. So it is important that His Honor tells us what is the intention. Where do you want the seafarer to be returned?
Okay. I thought, Your Honor, my team already talked to your team and they already agreed on that matter.
Your Honor, it is the sponsor and I who will agree.
No. Yeah, I understand, Your Honor, but for the sake of brevity or for the sake of na para mapaiksi tayo and
Pero kailangan ho nagkakaintindihan tayo ng dalawa.
magkakaintindihan tayo, Your Honor. Magkakaintindihan tayong dalawa, Your Honor. Bakit natin pinag-aawayan yung domicile and
Hindi natin pinag-aawayan.
Place of
Iwanag ko lang po ang use of terms natin because they have significance, Your Honor.
what's the significance? What is the significance, Your Honor? What's the
I
significance of
think-
domicile and place of residence?
I
What's so
think,
important?
Your Honor, your lawyer should be the one informing you what is the difference of domicile and residence. I've already been pointing out that there is a difference. If your team cannot
But Your Honor, like I said, under the MLC convention provision, domicile refers to the home address, and in the SEC, it's the same when the seafarer filled up his SEC form, place of domicile there refers to his address. In the MLC and in the SEC, domicile means home address.
Your Honor, I am simply informing the sponsor that under Philippine law, there is a difference between
I
domicile
understand, Your Honor,
and
but it is already understood under the MLC provision, domicile means home address, and under the standard employment contract, which the seafarer signed, the word domicile refers to his home address.
Okay, so I will ask His Honor a question. When the seafarer indicates a home address, Yung po ba kaya ang kanyang temporary address sa Manila o yung po yung kino-consider niyang permanent home niya sa probinsya? Alin kaya ho yun doon?
Yung point of hire is Manila. When you say domicile, yun po yung permanent address niya, Your Honor. As declared doon sa kanyang SEC. Kasi po doon sa SEC, idideklara mo yung iyong home address. At anong nakalagay doon? Domicile. Wala naman nakalagay doon home address. Nakalagay doon domicile.
Your Honor, I am just putting on record that there are legal differences. Huwag po kayo magagalit.
No, no,
po,
I'm not mad.
May legal
I'm not
differences
mad, Your Honor.
yun.
But-
Ayoko pong malito ang gobyerno at ang ating
Well, yung
pong mga
gobyerno po, hindi
seafarers.
malilito. I'm sure.
Sir,
I
there are
guarantee the
legal
government-
differences. So if we do not clarify,
Hindi naman natin pwedeng baguhin lahat dahil lang sa kagustuhan mo para mas
Session suspended.
so hindi pa ito yan. So may I know how it will now read? Because normally the secretariat or the staff would type that out. Or you can also just give me a copy, I don't mind. Whatever is
Thank-
faster.
Kasi kahapon, I was reading it and I was asked by the Senate President para mapabilis. Hindi ko na po kailangan i-read pa yung sinasabi niyo, Your Honor, na this is how it will read, etc., etc.
Pero ho, ako kasi sinusundan ko, so
Okay.
it is my request that I can
ma'am.
understand the amendments.
Ibigyan po namin kayo ng kopya, hinggil po dyan.
So what is His Honor's preference? Do we wait for me to get a copy or?
The committee secretary will give you a clean copy of that, Your Honor. One minute suspension, Mr. President.
Session suspended.